So I'm here with Ameen, and we're doing the MetaCartel Ventures Tears of Moloch Zaps Chip Challenge here. And, I'm going to interview my guest while he eats these chips. So I'm going to give you your choice of the, go with the hotter than jalapeno.
Yeah.
You got the barbecue, regular flavor, and you got your voodoos. So,
Let's go with the jalapeno first.
okay. It's pretty brave.
Yeah, why not? It's a spice test.
Sorry.
The chili is our sacred fruit.
Sorry, let me just put these
We
back
like
together.
We like the spice.
Sorry, let me just put these back together.
I forgive you.
All right. All right, so we're ready to pop it open. All right.
Tears of Moloch, huh? What happens if I cry?
Let's try this.
This is
It's
a
okay to cry.
Control group.
It's okay to cry.
It's pretty hot without the hot sauce.
Do you like spicy food?
I do.
Okay. All right. So,
So was I
how would
supposed
you
to
like?
chip
No,
it
no, no,
first?
no, no. We're gonna do a little intro here. I'm gonna introduce yourself. Then we're gonna start the challenge.
Sure.
So, like, how would you summarize yourself in general?
Summarize.
Who are you?
Yeah. I'm Ameen. I do some things. I write some code, build Ethereum stuff. I try to coordinate. I don't know. Friendly neighborhood shit disturber.
Trying to keep it to the overview is hard because you want to talk about specific projects. Sounds
Yeah.
like, yeah. But like, really though, like that, that's a pretty vague answer.
Yeah. So software engineer. I started a porn company. Made a.
See, this is why we gotta like ask that follow-up question there to really like reveal some of the true information about who is this person here.
Stablecoin. Help launch a privacy protocol. All those things. I guess I'm a crypto guy these days.
You're one of the crypto bros.
Yeah.
Heard about those.
Right.
What does that mean?
Typically it has a negative connotation.
Really?
Yeah, really. Because they go after, I don't know, it's like very much about the money and the Lambos. I don't think
Do
I'm
you have a
quite-
Lambo?
I don't have a Lambo. Why?
Couldn't afford it?
Fuck, right? No, I'm still too poor. But if I had enough
Hustle-
money for a Lambo,
hustle
I'd
harder,
probably,
man.
I'd probably put it into something useful.
All right, let's start the challenge. So unlike some of the other versions of the show that people are familiar with, this is going to just be like a one-way thing. So
Uh-huh.
I'm not going to be eating the chips.
Right.
I'm not going to be eating the sauce. So just letting you know
Yeah, I just
you're okay
suffer.
with that. Yeah, it's
Yeah.
just for you.
Yeah. Moloch demands sacrifice.
So, go. So just put like 2 drops on this chip.
2 drops.
2 drops. Oh, okay.
2 good drops.
Yeah, for sure.
So now I eat
Go,
it.
hit it.
All right.
Hit it. There it is. Do you know who made this sauce?
Didn't Hamad make the sauce?
I'm not sure. Who made this?
Maybe. I don't. The first one I got was from
He's like, I don't have a mic, so there's
MetaCartel Ventures.
MetaCartel Ventures.
Yeah.
Yeah, you can actually pass me that mic.
Yeah,
It's all good.
you need like a headset. You gotta always have the Bluetooth headset. That would be like Dr. Ahmad. I would love that shit. Yeah, but anyway, sorry, how are you handling it? You good?
I'm crying a little bit.
It's rough?
I think it's
You sweating?
Yeah.
It's gonna get a little hot in here too, because like we're in the GM bus or whatever, and we're baking in the sun.
Yeah.
Just for the viewers at home to
Green
understand
Pill
like the
podcast.
context, you have to turn the air conditioner off before the for the audio purposes. So
Mhm. It's double sweating.
yeah, exactly. You think you're ready for another one?
Yeah.
you
Spice
good?
of life.
One more. Let's go.
We'll do it. Did you know I liked pain before we started this?
Is that why you named your project Spank Chain?
It's related.
Do you like being spanked?
I've done it before. It's
Do you like doing the spanking more or
But it's
like
really
being
fun.
spanked?
I think
Which
both.
do
I
you
think
prefer?
I like spanking better.
Okay, yeah. I would agree. Um, you good?
Yeah.
You good? All right, so let's talk about the Rise stablecoin. So, what is it? How's it work?
Yeah. It's a stablecoin built out of spite. We were mad at DAI for using too much governance, having too many people making decisions. So we made like an autistic version where we have no meetings.
Okay.
And instead we just run it using a program so that it like automatically balances its own market using like negative and positive interest rates on the peg. So instead of like always being $1, it like prices itself higher or lower to like counter the market movements.
So it's basically it's a thing. It's not necessarily tied to a dollar. It's a
Yeah.
stable coin. So it's something that it has a relationship with the volatility of Ethereum. And somehow
It just balances its own demand and supply. So like if Rye is trading above its peg, it lowers the peg. And if it's trading below the peg, it raises the peg. And that provides the incentive that counters what's currently happening. So if it's trading above the peg
Like
and
arbitrage.
it lowers the peg, then yeah, you're like, oh, I'm going to lose money if I keep holding this thing.
Right.
So I'm going to sell it.
okay.
Yeah.
So like big kind of like arbitrage people like
Yeah, yeah.
are using the Rye coin and kind of like, you know, making arbitrage on that.
Yeah.
Is there like another thing that's like creating demand for it? Is it just like regular use case like stablecoin in general?
Yeah, it's a
Because there's
leverage
obviously a
on
lot of
ETH.
demand for that.
So like if you want to borrow against ETH, you can do that on Rye. I think the rates are like negative 20% right now, which means you're like actually
yeah.
getting paid like
That's pretty
20%
attractive.
to borrow money against your ETH.
Let me just. Sorry.
But Rye's also the future of finance.
So like, what
like-
should people expect its value to like range between like, or like where is it currently at and like number wise and like how much can it kind of like what are the bounds of how much it can move like in terms you know what I mean stable wise.
The only bound actually is that the interest rate can only move by like 1,000% or negative 90% per year. It's like 10x either way.
Okay.
And so, like in theory, the peg price could go up by like 10x in a year. There isn't really a bound or like a range, and that's part of what makes Rye unique.
What would cause it to go up versus causing it to go down in general?
So that's the weird thing about Rye is that the peg moves opposite to the market. So if you want to push the peg price of Rye up, you need to suppress the market price below the peg for a period of time.
So you sort of benefit when other people are sort of like
Yeah, basically that's the idea.
it's
is
like
that-
inverse to the Ethereum.
is-
That's what I was kind of asking about Ethereum
Yeah.
volatility.
So yeah, if it tries to like dampen volatility of ETH,
So
you can like borrow against it.
You can kind of hedge your portfolio instead of holding a bunch of stable coins, which is honestly pretty risky in general, just because of crypto risk in general, like losing your wallet or whatever.
Yeah.
You're holding less
For your portfolio.
cruise control. You're holding, yeah, right. You're just hedging it using less amount of dollars or something with something that's kind of like inverse.
Yeah.
Interesting.
Yeah, stuff like Rye is cool because I think more projects, like stablecoin projects, should play with the peg. Everything just like pegging is kind of weak sauce.
Yeah.
It's like,
What?
you know, the countries in the world like already figured this out, that like pegs aren't really great. They have a lot of downsides, and so
I'm sorry,
people
you're
are
just like not
figuring
suffering
this out.
enough. I'm gonna like load this shit up.
keep going.
So apparently this MetaCartel's Ventures Tears of Moloch sauce is just not. Oh, sorry for the spills, guys.
I'm sweating more than I'm crying, so
Yeah, nah. You're like holding it together. I'm trying to fucking get you to break down here.
I mean,
Of just being a little.
I did an AMA once while getting a blowjob. That was pretty
Okay.
fun.
You need some. You need some toilet paper.
For what?
You got some schmutz.
On my beard?
Yeah.
I can't tell.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Yeah,
it was,
yeah.
It was pretty fun. That I was like getting a blowjob and like answering like technical questions, and then
Still there.
Yeah, God damn it. The commenters,
Nah, there was nothing there.
like the commenters were like, "Why does it sound like slurping in the background? Like, are you getting your dick sucked while you're answering these questions?" And I turned around my laptop. It was on Spank Live, my own.
Do you have the
campsite.
recording?
No, I wasn't recording.
Oh man.
Some of the other stuff I've done is.
I saw this shit on Reddit's r/that happened. You ever seen that subreddit?
I don't think so.
That's a great one.
On American Milf Gun Club.
No, I'm not. I'm interviewing him. This is
No, it's the meta.
nah. This is fuck that shit. Fuck that shit.
I think American
Nonsense.
MILFs deserve guns.
There we go.
I think guns are feminist because they
There we go.
equalize the playing field of violence. It's like really annoying to have to stab someone as a woman.
Mm-hmm.
You know, having a gun is like a nice thing to equalize the power
It
relationships.
is an equalizer.
More MILFs should have guns. Clearly,
That's basically like the premise of the brand. Is something that I'm like about to launch. Yeah.
I support.
It's just all about MILFs and guns. That's pretty much the two principles of the brand.
I think it'll work.
Yeah. I mean, like the only thing is that, well, I'm not gonna spill too much about this shit because
Maybe you should eat a chip.
this is supposed to be Hamad is like doxing me and like exposing me. I could have maybe brushed that under the radar, but I already addressed that shit. I'm trying to do that shit anonymously, bro.
Wrecked.
You said my name, bro. That's what you get.
Oh, I'm sorry. I forgot I was supposed to say your name.
Good.
Dude, crypto rules. Dude, I just met my fucking cousin here for the first time.
Yeah.
And he's like I think there's only one other person he's doxed with.
Yeah.
We found out that he was here, and I met this guy. His name is Crab Singer.
And you know that you're
He's-
related.
Yeah, he's my cousin.
Wow.
He's my I guess our great grandfathers were brothers.
No way.
Yeah.
Small world.
Crazy shit. Yeah, MCON is really bringing people together. All right, so like, what is Vitalik like about the Rye coin? Like, what is it? I'm sorry if me calling it a coin triggers you. Also, I
don't
mean, like, okay.
Yeah. So the thing that Vitalik likes about Rye is that it can unwind. Novel concept, you know. We
What
all
do you
built
mean that
these-
it can unwind? Oh, that
to
it's
tell
not
you.
permanent.
Yeah, like if it needs to, you know, it can shut down. And so like the way it does that is like it has negative rates, and that can incentivize people to redeem the currency and to like yeah, basically let out the people who have taken on debt, because otherwise the people who deposit ETH and take on debt, you know, they might have trouble like exiting the system. So Vitalik wrote this blog post comparing Rye and Terra right after Terra exploded.
Right.
$50 billion went up in smoke.
Yeah,
Right.
Vitalik had to come out and say something about that. Otherwise, people would just be, because it reflects, like, people are just going to associate an Ethereum-based stablecoin with Terra.
That's right.
Like,
yeah,
once it gets,
algo
it's all
stable
stable
became like a
coins.
bad word. Stablecoin.
All
ooh, that's
stable coins are
dangerous,
like
right?
in the media, like it's bad.
And so
you know.
Vitalik was trying to, you know, explain the difference between like something like Rye and something like UST. UST was offering like 20% to everybody who held it, and like Rye, you know, if people are trying to exit, it sets the rates negative and it helps the system unwind. It like incentivizes people to help the system unwind. And so like, it wasn't. I think that's what he likes about it, because if you can't unwind, you're kind of a Ponzi.
So like when it unwinds, is that kind of similar to like a liquidation or like a like a normal capital structure debt, like different primary and whatever.
Mostly what I'm talking about is like as a result of, you know, ETH going down or liquidations happening. So like, you know,
Are people borrowing
when-
against their Rye, like,
people borrow against their ETH, right? So they put the ETH in the system.
and then they borrow Rye?
Same, yeah, and they borrow Rye, and they mint new Rye to borrow it. And so they, yep. So like, if ETH is going down, you know, they might be trying to exit,
Yeah,
and so they have to buy Rye on the market,
Mhm.
and then like, that sets
that's
the,
good.
you know, so that sets the interest rate negative, and it starts devaluing the debt for everybody else. And so that way, like, you
Okay.
can't hoard the stable coin and like impose an exit cost on the people who took out debt. Because if you try to do this in something like Maker, you know, and it's $1, you know, the people the DAI holders can just choose to hold the DAI forever and make the price of DAI go up, and this like charges an exit tax basically to all the people who had.
Oh, because if you just hold on to it, like,
Yeah,
and you
it'll
hoard
be like
it, then there's
105, 110, you know, 110, and that like there's no way to incentivize them to sell it and return
Okay.
it to the market and balance the demand and supply.
Is that
so-
why you were upset with DAI?
Well, the way DAI decided to do this was to add a lot of USDC as collateral in their system, and so now
Which is just sort of like, kind of like compounding, like,
today DAI is like 80% backed by USDC, which means like if
I
the
mean, that
USDC
really
is
does, like,
censored,
raise a
you
lot
know,
of
or
questions, you know, like-
sanctioned or whatever, or decides to freeze it, then like
Yeah, it's not good.
yeah, not great. So I've been complaining
like,
about this
if
for
they're,
like
you
2
know, like-
years, but nobody cared.
Well, like everybody, I don't know. I mean, it's hard to tell what's going on because you know in America, like you don't know which. I don't think either party really supports crypto at all.
Yeah.
They did it to tornado.
What's that?
They did it to tornado.
Yeah, exactly. Well, I mean, they could easily just sort of say that USDC, like the same sanctions apply with
What
all
happens
USDC
if like
or
Russia
whatever, you know?
decides that DAI is like the best stablecoin ever, you know?
Yeah, there's a lot of scenarios. Like there's like the political, like you know, Russia starts accepting Bitcoin for oil, and then the American government goes full propaganda against Bitcoin, and
Right.
you know the whole funding terrorists
Yeah.
FUD, but like on a like global, like you know, anti-Putin level.
Yeah.
Whatever. Like there's all kinds of fucking crazy narratives going on. Let's
Yeah,
give you
man.
some more fucking hot sauce. So let's talk about some of your other projects, because yeah, what's your relationship with Moloch? Could you explain?
I'm the summoner.
And what does that mean?
It's a video game term. I played a warlock, so you summon demons to do your bidding.
Okay.
So I summoned a demon DAO to do my bidding. It's called Moloch, after the Canaanite god of child sacrifice. JK, after the rationalist god of coordination failure. Do I have shit all over my beard again?
You said Canaanite. Could you explain, like, who are the Canaanites?
They lived in like ancient Middle East, around where like Israel and Turkey. They were
Was that from Cain and Abel?
yeah.
So
like
those were the
original.
second people, right?
Mhm.
Is that those are Adam and Eve's children?
Yeah.
And Cain murdered Abel, right?
Yeah, so they had this god called Moloch, and they would like sacrifice their children for favor in like war and famine. And the idea is like, you know, if you like maybe if everybody doesn't like sacrifice their children or something, then like we all die in the famine. So we might need to. That's not really why I named it Moloch DAO. It's actually because this other blog post called Meditations on Moloch, written by Slate Star Codex, Scott Alexander. Have you fed anyone else this much hot sauce?
No, this is the first time we're doing this segment.
Oh. Amazing.
Yeah. So let's see, where were we? We were talking about Moloch.
Yeah.
So you summoned a demon DAO to do your bidding, which was
Yeah.
Moloch DAO.
It was a dark time for Ethereum. ETH was like $100.
Did you have a ritual when you when you
Ethereum
created
Foundation had like 3 years of runway, and we were trying to raise money to save Ethereum during the bear market. Whew.
what year was this?
2019, late 2018. It's like
Right.
early 2019.
Right. Nowadays Ethereum seems too big to fail.
That's right. We launched Moloch version 1 here in Denver on Valentine's Day at ETH Denver. And you were like, what's the ritual? It's pretty funny. There wasn't a like real ritual. Just like went up to people individually, hustled them. I was like, hello, would you like to put 100 ETH into this DAO and save Ethereum?
So it was raising money to save Ethereum by raising Ethereum.
No, yeah. We raised Ether
You raised ETH to
Ethereum.
save ETH.
And then
So it's like you're gonna sell that ETH though if you have to save, right? Or no?
It was the original grants making DAO on Ethereum. So it's the same code base that MetaCartel used.
How does it save ETH?
Well, it gave grants to things that
Oh, to projects that were building on ETH.
Yeah.
Okay, I see.
help move the system along.
Right, right. So it's kind of like about like getting people's funds to support things that would overall kind of support the whole system.
Yeah, eventually raised like a couple $1 million from Vitalik and Joe Lubin and EF and Consensus. And then gave the first grants to Tornado Cash. Did some reports like State of ETH 2.
Wait, that was the first company you gave a grant to or a project?
It wasn't the first grant we made, but it was probably the most important.
Really?
Yeah, I think if the only thing that Moloch DAO did was fund Tornado Cash, it all would have been worth it.
That makes sense. Just because of like the legal battle that this sets up, or
No, I mean, I've been saying this since before Tornado Cash was sanctioned by OFAC.
what? Just that it was an important protocol.
Yeah, it's just that privacy is important, and like we needed systems to prove it, and like now we get to fight for it.
I mean, there's something inherently, between blockchain and privacy. There's sort of an inherently like oppositional thing going on there, right?
That's right. Yeah, blockchains are like fully transparent.
Yeah, so you have to create.
So like, it's even worse.
You have to create.
Yeah, like your entire transactional history is like public and available for anybody to know if they know who you are.
Right.
It's kind of dangerous, to be honest.
It's really dangerous.
Yeah. So like people want.
Have you seen the conspiracy theories about the whole Satoshi Nakamoto Central Intelligence? And apparently that's what the name means in Japanese. And
right.
yeah, just like that, it's basically all a ploy to get people to just adopt blockchain or this type of transaction where everything is tracked like that.
Right.
It's and now going towards the central bank digital currencies and like deleting physical cash, just to fully track and tax like everything, like basically.
Yeah, that's an interesting theory.
Yeah.
I don't know if I buy it. I think
Seems
like
a little ridiculous.
the people who made Bitcoin were like probably pretty mad about banks and stuff.
Oh, yeah. I mean, I don't buy into the theory, but it's an interesting theory.
Yeah. I mean,
it's
the
fun,
end result,
just because if the name really is central intelligence, it's just sort of like,
Yeah, the end result is blockchains are panopticons unless you have privacy. So like,
that's a good word, panopticon. I just basically absorbed what that really means. It sounds like the fucking name of a painting or something.
It's like actually a name of like a type of prison.
Okay. Everyone can see everything.
The guards can see everything.
Right.
And you can't see the guards.
Okay. So that's what you would compare blockchain to.
Yeah, like if blockchains you had to be like fully transparent all the time.
Okay.
Then like
The Tornado Cash is a solution for that.
that's right.
Okay. Interesting.
It's one of them. It's not
Right.
the end all be all.
Well,
It's
I mean,
just-
fork it.
Yeah.
But just in general, protocols.
Right.
Right. Protocols that people can use.
Yeah.
Free shit, liberty.
It's important stuff, and I think it'll go the same way that the war on cryptography went the first time around, like 20, 30 years ago. They tried to ban cryptography, like actually encryption algorithms. Like there's, a story of the professor.
They tried to ban
was like a
encryption.
CS professor. He's like teaching a class, right?
Right.
He's a foreign exchange student, and then he gets charged with like, sharing munitions or like state weapons secrets or something, right?
Wow.
Because originally cryptography was a weapon. We won World War II because Alan Turing, the gay guy, real super genius, made like a mechanical computing device that cracked the German codes, and that's why we were able to do D-Day and
Right.
a lot of the stuff. Like we like pretended like we didn't know the code. We like let a bunch of ships sink so that they wouldn't like find out.
Yeah, that's
that
really
we
fucked.
had the code.
Strategic.
And then after that,
you ever seen Passive Glory?
no.
It's a great movie. It's about that type of shit.
Yeah. So after that, cryptography was considered a weapon, and so like, we went to like it took a long time for nerds to Prometheus the cryptography back to the normal people. And they take it down from the gods.
Right.
you know?
Right.
And it was just like a bunch of nerds like printing it out on T-shirts, like printing it out on
What, like
discs,
the-
like
the-
actual
the
encryption
hex-
algorithms.
Yeah,
like the byte code.
Right. I mean, that shit looks cool.
Yeah,
Put
yeah.
that shit on the back of the Tornado Cash shirt. Sold a lot of shirts. Honestly, it looks good.
That was cool. So yeah, we did that. But like, the end result of that was like, the nerds won. The governments like tried to impose their backdoor
Right.
on the encryption, and like the nerds were like, this is dumb. They broke it, and then they like
Right.
now you have HTTPS everywhere. You have that little lock in the top left corner of your browser. I wasn't pointing at anything outside.
Oh yeah, you like made a gesture at something.
In my head.
pointing at like a lock.
I was
yeah.
pointing to the top left corner of your browser, the little lock.
Oh, okay.
Make sure that your communications are encrypted everywhere.
Oh yeah, my
So
security.
nobody can like
my
spy
security
on your
sucks.
like credit card info. But yeah,
Right.
it's gonna be the same for money. Like we can encrypt money now. That's like weird, and people are gonna be upset about it, but it's inevitable.
Yeah.
I'm
Which
like-
mean, what does that exactly mean? Like the implications of that. Like, what do you foresee based on that?
Well, if you don't have like privacy, then you have a honeypot, and if you
Right.
have a honeypot, it's gonna get hacked, and then all of your financial data will be revealed. And so the only way for you to really protect your financial data is to be able to protect your own financial data yourself.
Okay.
In some cases, for people who want. And so you should be able to have the ability to have like private transactions with people and have privacy so that, it's not like somebody sees everything, because one day they'll get hacked and they'll lose it or use it for some purpose that, nefarious reason.
Right.
So
So like with the sanctions that are like on stablecoins.
sanctions are
general?
on Tornado Cash.
Right, but like I mean, possibly like in
Yeah.
terms of like whatever pressure the government might apply against stablecoins in general.
Yeah.
Like, do you ever think about like if you sort of create something that's hard for them to actually sanction,
Yeah.
right? Other sorts of pressure that they might apply, or you worry about anything like that?
Yeah. You know, it's a multifaceted like battle or whatever, right? To get this stuff. Like as an American, I can no longer use Tornado Cash, but I can use
Right.
other privacy
Where are you
pools.
from?
I live in Las Vegas. I grew up
from
in
Las Vegas?
DC.
DC.
Yeah, East
Okay.
Coast.
Okay. Come on in. Nope.
So yeah. Anyways, you know, part of the battle is legal, right? Like
Okay.
as an American, I want to be able to use Tornado Cash, but they sanctioned it, so now I have to like petition the government. There's a lawsuit came out earlier today. Coinbase is funding 6 people who I think had money in Tornado to sue the Treasury Department.
Oh,
for-
Coinbase is funding it.
Yeah, for preventing.
That's some good PR for them, honestly.
I'm pretty happy about it.
That
you
kind
know,
of brings everyone together because I think with crypto, like I think the more corporate side of it versus like the more like indie side, like we're
there
here.
is kind
like,
of a civil war.
there shouldn't be because we're too much of a small niche to like really be fighting amongst ourselves.
I agree.
I would say like,
But the bankers will sell us out, sell out the ideological people immediately.
yeah, I mean it's kind of like a Wild West free for all situation. Like, you know, people's ideals always get crushed in every aspect of life in general. So
Yeah.
I mean, like, what are you gonna do?
Sue the government.
Yeah, maybe you'll win.
Yeah, who knows?
Are you involved in that lawsuit?
No, I'm not.
No.
I helped. I don't know. Moloch gave a grant to Coin Center.
So Moloch is still active. Is that Moloch on your T-shirt right
Yeah,
there?
that's a Moloch
He's sort of controlling that. Could you just explain like the symbolism behind, you know?
Yeah, so there's like a red ETH with like energy wisps coming out of it, and there's like a demon god Moloch, and the idea is that like Moloch is trying to, you know, get Ethereum or something, and we have to slay Moloch. Moloch is the god of coordination failure. It's like the way we like to.
It kind of looks like Moloch is using Ethereum as like his tool of like control. Like it looks like a little upside down pyramid type of, you know, reflected on itself. He looks like he's sort
I
of.
like my interpretation. But
It
yeah,
looks like he spawned it with his magical powers.
yeah.
It's like sort of like got some like smoke that made of blood. Kinda like-
the blog post Meditations on Moloch that I read in 2016 was super revelatory for me.
Okay.
So I just was like, I read it, and it's like all about coordination failure, like why humans can't get along.
Right.
I put a word on like an anxiety I've had my whole life,
Mhm.
which is like, why can't we get along?
Right.
Why don't we have?
Right.
Why
I
can't
relate
we
to
have nice
that.
things? Like,
I definitely relate to
you
that.
know, we have all these
course.
groups of like we have like big problems as a humanity, right?
Yeah.
Like the
A
sky
lot of
is
people
gonna
who
be on
have
fire.
like,
Like
a lot of people who have a moral compass
and
and
we're,
can
like,
kind of control
bombing each other.
themselves. People who like have a moral compass can control themselves, and sort of like, you know, are good people in their day-to-day lives. Like we have this problem where it's like, why is the world so bad? Right? You know, what can
Yeah,
we do? Like
you just
that
like
or something.
radically underestimate how evil people can be.
Absolutely. I mean,
and,
then you
like-
have to think about history and things that have happened, and just be like, okay, like,
Yeah.
you know, but
So I just like I felt when I read this blog post in 2016, I like also it was the same week I've discovered Ethereum, and so
2016,
yeah, I think around that time.
around the same time as when I did.
Yeah. So I was discovering Ethereum.
Just like, oh, what's this? A new coin on Coinbase.
Well, my reaction was like, this is a coordination platform. This is what we use to fight Moloch. This is like how we advance humanity and our own ability to coordinate around our shared goals. There's a problem with like religions and countries is like there are coordination structures, but they only scale to their borders or the borders of their faith.
Right.
You know, they're not like global
Yeah.
in the way that
And that creates a
something
lot of like
Ethereum
nationalism
is
and
global.
bullshit.
You know,
Yeah.
and so like you need things like Ethereum to coordinate around global causes. Like Moloch DAO raised money from like 20 something people in 10 countries with no paperwork because people could trust that the program was well designed to let them. I called it the rage quit, but it basically embeds minority protection into the DAO so they could put money in.
Yeah. Yeah, I've heard a lot
then,
of
like-
talk about like the concept of like rage quitting in
Yeah.
general. Like,
And so
what do
need,
you
like,
think about
a
what do you
legal
think
contract
about what do you
because
think
could
about
just-
rage quitting I'm sorry to cut you off.
No, go ahead.
You want to keep going?
I don't know.
Okay.
I can talk about Moloch forever, so.
Yeah. I mean, like, I'm really like, the Moloch thing, like, still confuses me, like, to an extent. Like, some
I just wanted people,
you know,
to
like, as
read
a
the blog
superstitious
post.
person.
Meditations
You
on
want
Moloch,
to,
great blog post. Read it.
You're promoting the blog post.
That's literally
pretty
what
much.
I'm doing. It was promoting the blog post.
Do you think
I really
people
like
might
the
ever,
blog
like,
post.
get it misconstrued of, like, what you actually stand for?
Yes, all the time.
But do you
I don't
invite? Do
care.
you invite that?
A little bit. It's partially a mimetic filter because there's some people who are like, it's called Moloch. That's weird. I don't like it.
Right.
And to be clear, I didn't know about the like secret pedo elite cabal of Moloch worshippers in the government or whatever when I made this. Just to
Really?
yes.
Okay.
The Bohemian Grove stuff. Never knew about that. I just read the blog post.
Yeah,
I really
okay.
liked the blog post.
Do you ever think about like the power of like? Do you ever think about like what those people like? You know how they're always like using all the symbols and
Yeah.
do you ever think that there's anything to like numerology or sacred geometry or any actual power behind some of that stuff?
I don't know. I think symbols are important, but I also think that like the ability to create new symbols that you give power to is like also important. You know, like a lot of religions are like, you will not worship any false idols before me, right? They would take
Right.
offense to me doing like playing with this concept of Moloch, right? But like I think it's an important concept for people to understand and like rally around. That like Moloch is not, you know, it's not about like you versus me. It's about like us versus our inability to coordinate with each other.
Right.
It's like
so
we
it's
have-
like basically part of it is about seeing someone that would be like an enemy,
Yeah.
sort of being like, okay, that's not actually my enemy. It's just somebody who I'm in a temporary disagreement with right now because there's a misunderstanding or something.
Or it's more about understanding the like processes that led you to become enemies, you know, and like the
Right.
greater game that you're in. So it's like,
Exactly.
you know, you're like, how do we change the game so that we're incentivized to cooperate,
Right.
you know?
Exactly.
Because otherwise some games are zero sum and then you just fight to the death over whatever the fuck, you know? But like there's not that many resources. There's a lot of human ingenuity. Like
Yeah.
as a species, you could imagine like
Yeah.
we could be harvesting our ingenuity to like build solutions to our problems, and like sometimes we do that, but like we also spend a lot of time bombing each other.
Right.
And like the reason we do that is because we can't coordinate effectively to like disarm at the same time and trust each other to like not take each other over after we disarm.
Oh, totally. I think our
So,
like
like,
world, our like current
you
like
just have to-
comfort level is like very much held together by the U.S. Navy, like
Yeah.
basically having a lockdown on the whole world because like
Yeah.
if that was disrupted, then all hell could break loose. Like,
Yeah.
basically. Like,
That's a lot of that.
yeah.
We take a lot of things for granted. We like outsource our violence, you know, so we don't have to like think about it. It's like hamburgers. You know, you don't like think about the slaughterhouse.
Yeah, I mean, we pay for it with like printed money that is coming from. It's a loop. It's a reflexive loop because having the military strength allows you to kind of like get the tribute from these other countries. You're printing money, selling them your debt.
That's
you know
right.
what I mean? And then you're coming out and demanding tribute right back. So like, you know,
Yeah.
that's kind of like
yeah,
what
it's
the government
the
does.
U.S.
and-
dollar is like the mechanism for
super
modern
powerful.
imperialism.
Yeah. It's like a soft imperialism. Like, you know, there's less bloodshed.
Sometimes.
I mean,
Most
like,
of the
look at
time.
world history, like, and how many, like,
That's
people
true.
really
Imperialism
have it.
used
Like,
to
I'm
be
like,
a lot more.
war and, you know, I mean, like, so much. I feel like we're in a period of general peace. Like, maybe that's just me accepting a bunch of American propaganda, but I'm not sure.
Yeah, we're definitely in like ramping up towards war.
Well, it's getting,
like,
yeah, no,
economic
everyone
war with,
seems to
like,
get, like,
China,
made
Russia.
more nationalistic now,
Yeah.
and, yeah, it's getting crazy.
Yeah.
It's really bad. So, let's see, Spank Chain. Let's
Yeah.
talk about Spank Chain.
Yeah, cool.
So, like,
I just really like sex workers.
okay.
They should have stuff that works, like money.
Like a
So-
seamless way,
Like money doesn't really work for sex workers all the time,
right?
because they get shut down from their like bank accounts and their like PayPal accounts and their
Yeah.
Square Cash and stuff.
Right.
So we started the company to like try and bring crypto to porn stars and sex workers and adult businesses.
Mm.
Main product is Spank Pay. It's like a checkout system,
Mm.
and like for porn sites,
Right.
so like Just for Fans and Sex Panther, and then there's like models can set up their own little personal payment portal. You can like tip them in crypto, and they can cash it out to their bank and stuff.
So it's a Spank token,
Yeah, there's a Spank token.
but is
It's-
that like with Spank Pay?
It's
like
not
they're
related
just
to the
accepting
product.
like
Yeah,
straight
it's
like
Bitcoin
cash,
ETH.
right?
Yeah. hmm
And it gets converted to
They can either pay it out to a wallet or bank.
a wallet as like USDC or something,
Yeah, or ETH.
or ETH.
Yeah.
Interesting.
It converts depending on their preferences.
So they can like auto buy ETH.
Yeah, you could just say I
It's like a
convert
good,
all tips.
It's been like a
into
really good
ETH.
financial decision for any who actually adopted that and kept some of the ETH, like, be kind of interesting to see what happened. Like, have you followed up with any of the people who, like, you know, were on some kind of Spank Pay early? Like, I don't know when it launched.
Yeah,
when
a
did,
lot
when
of
did
them
it start?
have done really well.
When did it
It's
launch?
2017. So there was a bunch of models that were early on, you know, cam models and on our initial cam site. And then before we pivoted to SpankPay. And then, you know, having been early, they have had a much, you know, big advantage. Some of them made a bunch of money. Other ones like got cool jobs in Web3. And
Have you found that like women who were sex workers, like after they make a lot of money from like holding crypto, have like sort of like sorry, that's distracting me. They're like on like a anecdotal basis, obviously. Like, have you seen people like kind of quit doing sex work, or do they still continue doing it in general?
Some quit. Some just go mainstream, or
Okay.
some just like they do only the things that they want to do.
Yeah,
You know,
I think
they
women
don't
are
do
gaining
the-
a ton of power just because of like the ability for everyone to freely broadcast is
Yeah.
sort of like, because like I think it can go in this, it goes in a direction a lot of the time also already, like where like it's not sexual, you know, people are doing forms of entertainment that, you know, it might be men or like, you
A
know,
lot of
quote
it's
unquote
therapy.
simps that are paying for the shit, but yeah, it is therapy sometimes.
It's like underappreciated.
Definitely. Like, yeah, like and like here in the West, like people always like make fun of like, oh, in Japan, like you can go to a place and they have these like, you know, whatever, like, you know, whatever all that stuff is. Like, I don't want to like
Yeah.
misrepresent what it is, but everyone always sort of like references that with like a negative kind of connotation to it.
Uh-huh.
But I don't know. People are very quick to judgment about a lot of stuff. There is also, you know, a dark side to it.
Yeah, I mean, I'm a fan of decriminalization of sex work.
Yeah.
Obviously, I think we should hunt human traffickers and sex traffickers.
Right.
Very few of the people who have made it their cause to actually, you know, whose stated cause is going after
Yeah.
sex trafficking actually prioritize going after sex trafficking.
Right.
Most of the people who say they're going after sex
They
trafficking,
just raise money and give it to themselves, probably.
they do that and then they try to go after like porn sites because they say
bullshit.
the porn sites are sex trafficking. But like Pornhub took down every
That's probably like an anti-porn industry or like charity tool.
it's a Christian.
Stop. You let it be hot, man. It's good.
It's just like a Christian evangelical, you know, ideology.
Right.
thing.
Yeah, exactly. It could just be like a Christian group that could be doing that.
Yeah, it's like it's
How do you like? Is there anything that you can do to sort of prevent women from being like pimped by men? Because like a lot of like one thing, you know, in like researching this whole Andrew Tate phenomenon, like trying to understand like, you know, the accusations about him, what he's doing, blah blah blah, all this different stuff. It's like what they're talking about how like a lot of sex workers are like still somehow working for men that put them in a house to create content or
Yeah.
something like that. Have you like? Do you have any like transparency into that type of practice, and like is there anything that could be done to like fix that shit or what?
Yeah, so a lot of the times that happens, it's because the rules are structured in a way that favors that kind of arrangement. So like if sex work was decriminalized, more women could protect themselves and do it themselves and be like their own business. But because they, you know, it's not decriminalized, like it has to be done in secret, and like they don't have recourse against, you know, like a client that might be rowdy or something. And so like,
Well,
like
yeah, they have
can't-
to worry
they
about
can't
being
call the
doxxed at all
cops,
times.
You know,
They can't call the cops.
they
very
can't
well.
call the cops because the
that's
cops
biggest
will
problem.
arrest them and say we've done our jobs as preventing sex trafficking, even
Right.
though they've just stopped like consensual, you know,
Yeah,
like
I mean, if you really think about it, a lot of the like traditional the whole marriage, you know, overview of, you know, the way society set up families, marriage, nuclear family, property, and all that different stuff. It's all sort of like a giant control system. Like,
yeah,
you know what I mean?
yeah, like
and
women,
like even
women like
decriminalizing sex work would be like an attack on some of the most foundational of those, that entire setup, which is like kind of our entire reality that was been set up
That's
for
right.
us.
I think we should do it.
I think so too, but I think so too, but it's changed a lot of shit, you know?
Yeah. Like I mean, on its face, it just seems absurd that it's even a law. Like, why? Who is the monkey that decided that like
Yeah.
women monkeys who decide to like have sex
Have
and like
sex
get
and get
paid,
paid.
should be taken and put in a box by a group of other monkeys?
Right. With like male prison guards, obviously, right?
And it's like, what
Yeah,
the
yeah,
fuck,
yeah.
right? Like what? Like
It's like some boys versus girls bullshit. Like,
No, it's
like at the core, like that. There's so much boys versus girls. Like you see elementary schools just like and kids like organizing themselves into those factions. It's not because of any outside influence. It's just like, human tribal primalism or whatever. Like it's just like,
There's some of that, but like some of it is like institutionalized,
It gets institutionalized, but I feel like that's the core impulse that's at the center of a lot of things that institutions end up.
I think that's like if you like take it down to like the monkey level of like boys versus girls, like the point of government is to like protect girls and boys from mostly boys.
Yeah.
It's like
It's kind of like, yeah. It's like protecting property owners is like the number one thing of the police.
And the safety of the people.
Second.
But yes.
Yeah. Yeah, no, I mean, not all,
I'm
like,
my
yeah,
own property or something.
Yeah.
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 So yeah, I think that's the thing. And like sex workers are actually some of the best like crypto users. Like proper sex workers are like cypherpunks. They have multiple identities. They don't use their real name. They have they use Proton Mail accounts. Like they are interested in cryptocurrency because it's just another tool in the toolbox for them to live their lives in the way that
obfuscate
they
reality,
need
to avoid all of the unwanted attention.
Yeah, and to like keep their money out of the reach of banks if they need to.
Right. So the sovereignty of the money,
Yeah.
basically.
Sovereignty of your body, your money.
Right.
You should have sovereignty over both.
You're a good pitch man for Spank Chain.
That's our slogan.
What?
Your body, your money.
Okay. I was like, do you freestyle that or what? Like, it sounded like a fucking slogan. It's funny. All right, let's go. We got the last chip. I think we'll probably wrap this shit up soon, right?
All right.
I mean, it's up to
I'm
you.
only sweating balls
technically
here.
could keep going, but how long have we been doing this for?
Pretty long.
Yeah.
How long?
Wrap it.
You got 2 more chips here. Let's just wrap this shit up. Any final 50 minutes?
Almost.
Oh, wow. That's good. That's good.
20 minutes, he says.
I mean, look.
You guys kept going.
Yeah. Like, I don't...
Mouthful.
Like I said, it's our first time doing this shit, so we don't have any extra.
Distracting, hot Airstream with hot sauce or with blowjob?
Yeah, what was more... He said the blowjob or the hot sauce?
I think a hot
More
sauce.
distracting. Yeah.
Blowjob was fine.
Yeah, it's
Hot
normal.
sauce, I'm like sweating and stuff. It's like actual pain.
That's cool.
I mean, I like
That's
the
cool
pain.
that you got a blowjob.
Yeah, I like getting
That's good.
blowjobs. Everyone should get blowjobs.
That's dope, man. How
Blowjobs
was that?
Make the
How did
world
that feel?
a better place. Felt good.
Felt
great.
great. Wrap it up.
Questions while we're
Yeah,
there.
yeah. Come on in.
The first is, how did you make contact with the sex worker community?
Mhm.
And then what was the onboarding process and like the adoption? Like, was it pretty turnkey? Like, how did you figure it all out?
Yeah, we had some early sex worker like porn partners that were able to help us integrate with the community. Why the fuck do I have an alarm? Anyway, so yeah, and then we hired porn performers to do the outreach. So initially, like for example, we went to should I wait for the sirens?
They can't. No, the mic is like.
So yeah, originally we went to like AVN 2018, and we were like, okay, we launched this thing called Crypto Titties. We're really excited about Crypto Titties, and like Crypto Titties is a way for you to like get a crypto wallet, and then we upload a picture of your titties and your wallet address, and then people can tip your titties, and all the money just goes into your wallet.
So it's just there's no face.
There's no middleman or anything.
But there's no face in the picture, also.
Oh, there could be a face.
Oh,
but
okay.
I think actually in most of them there weren't.
Okay, interesting.
So there was just like a wall of titties.
Right.
And so we,
like a chat
we did
roulette
this
of-
and we went to AVN and then we were like, how do we get everybody to come out? And we were like, we'll give you $100 to come take a picture of your titties, and so then people lined up at our booth. We came over, we gave them $100 in cash, took the picture of their tits, and we were like, but wait, there's more. If you download this crypto wallet, it will give you another $100 in like crypto. And then they downloaded that, and then they got the address, and then they joined the Crypto Titties site and stuff like that. So
That process was also one of those mimetic filters, because I would imagine that like not every person actually went through that full
yeah.
process.
So-
And once you got those people, I guess they're like kind of like on board with whatever you were doing. Interesting.
Yeah, it was cool. The early people that joined, I mean, they learned a lot. Of course, we went through a whole bear market in 2018, so the campsite that we launched lost, a lot of its users. But then we pivoted to SpankPay and just wanted to make ourselves useful.
Right.
And so that process is mostly just slowly onboarding people as they go. We have like contests. We go to conferences.
So
we have booths. We do a lot of like word of mouth and outreach, like through influencers.
So half of SpankPay is kind of like just like a plain vanilla like e-commerce solution.
Yeah.
And then it just goes straight into conversion. That's it. Like simple kind of tool.
SpankPay is like pretty simple.
Nice.
It's like similar to any other like Bitcoin payment thing.
That's cool.
Mm-hmm.
What was the second question, Tobes?
Well, I kind of lumped it in there, but I guess my second question would be like, have you received any blowback from the crypto community or any other communities for the initiative?
Yeah. Early on, we did more, but I think we normalized it to some degree successfully within the Ethereum community too, and then more broadly later on. Like initially, I think SpankChain made some inroads with the Ethereum community simply because we were also doing like research for Ethereum, like scalability. We were making payment channels. Like our whole campsite was like a sort of glorified R&D project for Ethereum because it was like the first layer 2 payment channels on ETH.
Can you say that again?
We made the first layer 2. It was called Spank Live. It was our campsite. And
When was that?
so that was 2018. And so like, it didn't really work, but it wasn't the thing that scaled Ethereum finally. There needed to be like roll-ups and stuff and Plasma and like 4 more years of research. But the people who are involved in building it are still like work at Optimism and are helping with the scaling.
Interesting.
But I think the thing that's unique about the crypto community specifically is that like it leans libertarian, right? And if libertarians think hard enough, they realize that like sex work should probably be decriminalized.
I mean, that would be like, you wouldn't even be a real libertarian if you didn't think that. I mean, yeah.
So like, it starts out normally, like when people first think about it, they get the sort of first pass emotional, ooh, that's dirty or wrong or something. But then, they think about it more. They meet some of the people. So one of the things that we've tried to do is like bring sex workers to the events. I didn't bring people some here to this MCON, but last time we brought like 3 porn stars out, and they get to meet people and learn about DAOs and NFTs and whatever. And
I saw some porn stars at ETH Denver.
Yeah, I brought some there too. So everybody else also gets to meet porn stars. There's a number, and that number is like how many people have had a positive social interaction with a porn star that they respect, or like a sex worker that they respect.
Right.
And I care a lot about making that number go up.
That makes sense.
Do you ever get any like pimps trying to start a Gnosis safe and then accumulating?
Not to my knowledge. I think most of the like new pimps are like digital pimps anyway, so it's not quite the same type of relationship. It's like they run your OnlyFans or things like that.
And my last one is, did you get a reaction out of Vitalik for the project?
Yeah, I think initially he had the sort of same reaction as most people, and then he came around. He leans fairly libertarian, and he can do the math on why this doesn't make sense to have some of these stigmas and laws. I'm not trying to put words in his mouth. Vitalik is Vitalik. He has a lot to think about. But yeah, I think he liked the research, and I don't think he quite was bothered by the premise. Like I think
You mean the porn?
Yeah.
Like with his early layer 2.
Like yeah.
Yeah.
It was
He
pretty.
must have been hyped on the layer 2, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, like SpankChain got a $420,000 grant from the Ethereum Foundation for the payment channels work we
Nice.
did. It was either $190,000 or $420,000. So.
Who wants to give me a grant? Do you know anyone?
I don't know. Maybe the MetaCartel.
All right, man. Think about it.
Wearing your chili. I see.
Yeah.
You're halfway there.
This is like a sponsorship right here.
Yeah.
Like, and also Zapp's potato chips also gave us a big bag for this. So
Yeah. I think we're both sweating balls, so
yeah,
maybe
I
we
think
should.
it's about time.
Yeah.
Yeah.
All right.
All
Thank
right.
you so
well,
much.
Hey, it's great meeting you.
Yeah.
Thanks for being a good sport or whatever.
Yes, sir.
Awesome.
Cheers.
Well, that's it for the MetaCartel Tears of Moloch challenge. I think he basically passed.